confidence in the recovery.
Question number 9, Gareth Hughes.
Mr. Speaker, my question is to the Minister of Energy and Resources and asks, does he agree with the Electricity Authority that households have been paying too little for power in the past, and how has this issue been corrected under the current government?
Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Simon Bridges.
Mr. Speaker, firstly, that's, in my view, a mischaracterisation of what the Electricity Authority said. Secondly, what the Electricity Authority report, in my view, implicitly does make clear is that talk of super profits like we had from the Leader of the Opposition, the Greens, yesterday, despite Professor Wallach, who they once relied on, reversing his views on that, is absolute nonsense. Certainly what I do is support the Electricity Authority's conclusion that the best way to sharpen prices is to see increased competition and competitive pressures, and that is exactly what this government and the Electricity Authority is focused on.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Gareth Hughes.
So does the Minister believe the Electricity Authority is correct when it says rising power bills for Kiwi families has been justified, or does he believe that power prices are too high under the National Government?
Speaker.
Honourable Simon Bridges.
As I've made very clear a number of times in this House, no one wants to see, who's a consumer, wants to see power prices rise. What is true is this government has halved the power price increases. We saw when Labor, propped up by the Greens, were in power, and we are seeing an increasingly competitive market in New Zealand with very sharp offerings. Meridian, for example, a $100 credit and 10-12% prompt payment discounts. Contact offering fixed prices until 2016 and 10 to 15% prompt payment discounts. My advice to consumers is to shop around.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Gareth Hughes.
Does the Minister think that the electricity system is working, given that electricity prices have increased by 22% under the current government, and in the past year alone, power prices have risen by 3%, despite demand falling by 2%?
Honourable Simon Bridges.
Speaker, the market is workably competitive. We want to see it more competitive. The member raises the point of 3%. Well, that's approximately half of what we saw year by year when Labor, propped up by the Greens, were in government. And what we also know, of course, is that with increased ETS costs, with less competition under Labor, Greens and what they're promising, we will certainly see prices rise by much more.
No, you won't. Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Gareth Hughes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Is it acceptable to the current government that 42,600 Kiwi families had their power disconnected in the past year alone and were left in the cold and the dark because they couldn't afford to pay their rising power bills in a workably competitive market?
Speaker.
Honourable Simon Bridges.
I think that the issue of disconnections is a concerning one. I'm concerned about it, and I've written very recently to the electricity providers, the retailers, to make clear my views, and it is something that I'll continue, and the Electricity Authority will continue to work on to get those numbers down.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Gareth Hughes.
Given the current government's opposition to the Green and Labor Party's NZ Power plan to reduce household power bills by $300 a year, will the Minister be campaigning on his track record of rising power prices this year?
Mr. Speaker,
Honourable Simon Bridges.
Yes, it's very difficult to see where that $300 comes from, given that around the world no country that has introduced less competition than they already had has seen prices decrease. In fact, quite the reverse. And where vastly increased costs through a ramped-up ETS will mean, I think, conservative, at least $500, $500 added to the costs that consumers pay in New Zealand year on year by Labor and the Greens.
Point of order.
Point of order, Gareth Hughes.
Mr. Speaker, I ask that I intend to seek leave. It's for two data sets I seek leave to table. They're from government websites, but from very large databases that aren't readily available.
On that basis, if the member just quickly describes the websites, I'll put the leave to the House.
Thanks, Mr. Speaker. The first is from Consumer Price Index data showing power prices risen by 22% under national.
I'll put the both leaves together. The second website.
And the other data which shows that disconnections from the Electricity Authority shows 42,600.
Leave us sought to table those
times higher
two pieces of information for the benefit of the House. Is there any objection? Appears to be none. They can be so tabled. On question number 10, the Honourable Annette King.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question's to the Minister of Health. What recent reports has he received on access to